What's up, guys? Finally getting around to this after I did my side plate video. Got over 100,000 views. First time any of my videos skyrocketed like that, so I just want to thank everybody who viewed and commented, shared it. I've been getting tons of requests about how to make the plaques. So I just compiled a list here of materials and calculations and measurements and just everything that I came up with to hang a side plate on the wall. A lot of people like it, and like I said, dozens of people asked me how to do it. So I've been trying to get around to shooting a video, but I was actually waiting. I wanted to start with fresh plaques so I can show you guys step by step. And the guy that does my plaques, he was backed up, so it took him about a month to get them shipped out to me. All right, so let's dig in here. So this is all your materials you're going to need. I also have a list here. If you guys want to screenshot that, then you got your list right there. You need a screw gun, tape measure, or a ruler. I prefer the ruler because the ruler's 12 inches. The plates are, the plaques are 10 inches wide, so it's much easier to work with the ruler. You're going to need 2 drill bits that I discovered work the best. You're going to need a 5/32 wood bit and a 5/16 wood bit. You need a screwdriver, a pick, pencil, sawtooth hanger for the back, and these are the screws. A couple people asked me about the screws. These were pretty hard to find, and after I found them, they really weren't that hard to find. But you could pick them up at Home Depot. That is the size that works best for me. I'm sure you guys can tweak it and figure out what works best for you. Just one thing to mention, the holes don't always line up because you are drilling by hand, so the bit's going to move anyway at once. So they're never going to be exactly perfect. That's why I have the pick, because I then roll around the hole a little bit just to spread the hole that we drilled through, to make it a little cleaner and a little wider. Sometimes, the plate is not identical with the hole. So the screw kind of goes sideways, which worried me a little that it might strip the plate. So they do, if you're worried about that, you can get these screws in like, not a plastic, I think it's like a vinyl. So that way it will, if there's a problem and they're not straight, you'll strip the plastic screw out instead of stripping your side plate. So I would probably recommend getting the vinyl screws. I mean, I've done enough of them now to where, I have 20 extras that are done just waiting. So I kind of got it down so I can get away with the metal screws. But for beginners, the first couple, I would definitely recommend getting the plastic screws, because the screws just keep them safe. They're that's why I chose these 2 drill bit sizes, because the plate, it just sits in there. It's kind of tight, and it would probably stay on there without being screwed into. So you just got to get the screw on like that first little twist, just for something to hold it on there. All right, so these are my measurements that I came up with after a long time. It really shouldn't be that hard, but so I'll explain these here. This is the men's and this is the women's. I'm sure you know the women's side plates are a little smaller than the men's, so it changes everything. So you start with a 5x10 wood plaque. It fits on there perfect. I think it's the perfect size. You can change the size if you want, but that's what it's going to look like on a 5x10. And the women's are a little smaller, but I'd rather keep all the plaques the same. So here's the men's from hole to hole on the back of the side plate. It's 3 inches, 3 7/16. So I came up with a little calculation up here, make it a little easier. The first row is in 16ths. That was a little easier for me. So the first row is in 16ths, and then the second row is in inches. So you got 10 inches minus both of the side plates, which is 6 7/8. That leaves you with 3 1/8, which you have to divide into 3 spots. Before the plate, between the plates, and after the last plate. So that leaves you divided by 3. That should be 3 1/24. I gotta fix that. Alright, so this is how I came up with it. You guys can change it now that you have the measurement. Some people might want the bigger space in the middle, but it's 1 1/16, 1 inch in the middle, and 1 1/16 on the outside. That's these marks you see right here. Okay. And also the line through the middle is 2.5 inches, and I always measure from the top because sometimes the wood is off by a 1/16, so you got to be careful. Measure every piece of wood just to be safe. So I always measure from the top. This specific piece here I measured today, it actually is top to bottom is 5 1/16, so 2.5 from the top. Here's the women's, same 2.5 from the top. Their plates, inner plates, are 3 1/16. So here's a calculation again. It's a little different for the women. And that leaves you with 1 1/4 on the left, 1 3/8 in the middle, and 1 1/4 on the right. That's what I came up with. You know, like I said, you guys can tweak these if you want. I'm just trying to make it easy for you. Alright, so your first step would be to measure the 2.5 from the top, and then you're going to take the 5/32 wood bit and drill directly through the back. Then you're going to flip it around. With the bigger drill bit, you want to drill about halfway through. If you go a little further, that's fine. You just don't want to go all the way through. If you do go all the way through, you'll probably still be alright, but just going about halfway through lets the plate sit in there properly. And you want to, obviously it's 10 inches, so I put a little mark at the 5-inch mark, and then that's where you want to line up the middle of your sawtooth hanger. I like these the best. They're easy. They just go right in. Then what I do is I stuff some tissue or toilet paper in the holes, and then you put a coat of primer on. It stops the primer from going through the holes. It just makes it a little easier. Then you're going to put a coat of paint on, just standard black wood paint. I think this is actually just interior paint. Then you're going to grab your screws, screw in your side plates, and finished product. So it really is pretty simple after you get everything down. Again, here is a list of what you're going to need. And the screw size is down there. And like I said, if you're a little worried about stripping the plate, I would definitely recommend the plastic, or I think they're called vinyl screws. I'll show you these measurements one more time. This is all you really need to do. Since I figured everything out, you just need these measurements here. Alright, that should about do it. Sorry it took me so long, but I wanted to do it right. I don't want anyone messing up their side plates. You guys got any questions? Just comment below. I'll get back to you when I can. As always, thanks for watching, guys.